really glad how you covered it in this documentary about 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl and Fukushima. We have these ideas in our mind about the dangers of nuclear power, and I love the analogy that you made in the film about how driving a car is not scary, but it's dangerous. Flying in a plane feels scary, but it's far safer.
Yeah.
And this is a great analogy to nuclear power. When you went over the data, when you talked about the amount of deaths from coal every year, when you talk about the amount of deaths overall ever from nuclear, it's stunning.
It is.
It's stunning. And then when you cut to, in the documentary, you showed the anti-nuclear movement that happened after 3 Mile Island.
Yeah.
And how crazy it was. There's all these stars and celebrities, and they're doing concerts. We've got to stop nuclear power, and what a mess.
That happens, doesn't it? When a fad, becomes fashionable. And
Yeah.
It was a very successful movement. You're talking about the negatives here, and the accidents, and we cover all that in the film, which is called Nuclear Now. And the idea that was behind it was because I really was like you. I went along with those things in the 70s and the 80s because I didn't know better. I wasn't educated. I really wanted to know, what is nuclear power? I wanted to go back to the source. And you got to go back to the beginning, and you got to go back to Marie Curie and Albert Einstein and World War II and all how it got developed. This nuclear energy is a beautiful, incredible, almost a miracle that was given to us, that we have on Earth. It's in the Earth, uranium. It's everywhere. The planet, the Earth, the sun. And we, in a sense, we took it like Prometheus and we kind of misinterpreted it, misused it, which is kind of normal given what we do with natural things. World War II was happening just as the nuclear fission was being understood, and that made the bomb. They made the bomb with it because there was a war on. And they rushed it, and they did an amazing job. Oppenheimer down in Los Alamos, and they got it, and they were successful. But as you know, it was misunderstood at that point that nuclear energy was not nuclear bomb. In the contrary, a bomb is very difficult to build. And it takes it takes years sometimes. It takes scientists, and they have to enrich the plutonium, and they have to work at it. There's all configurations in the bomb that don't exist in nuclear energy. So when people see a nuclear energy plant, they subconsciously they cross it with both war, and they cross it with horror films that they've seen in the 1950s with radioactivity and monsters that come out of that. A spider bites the man, and he becomes Spider-Man.
The Hulk,
It's incredible, the stuff that happens, and Hollywood has done no favors to it. It's continued for years and years and years, and then, of course, you had 3 Mile Island. The film was coming out at the same time, China Syndrome, and with Jane Fonda. It was a good film. I enjoyed it. We all enjoyed it, but it really was hysterical and alarmist. Saying nothing happened at 3 Mile Island except the reactor did melt down, but nobody got hurt because the containment structure worked to keep it in. So there was no release of radiation. And they continued on. Silkwood was another one, and then, if you remember, not too long ago, there was the HBO thing, Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Which was a complete fictionalization of what happened at Chernobyl. So we went to Russia, and we talked to the scientists there, and we wanted to know what happened at Chernobyl, and we find out, and it's in the film. And the same thing is true for Fukushima, which is unbelievable, because when you go to the bottom of it, I was astounded to find out that nobody died there from radiation, not one Japanese. They checked the whole thing out, and it's been done to death. But you hear about 15,000, 20,000 people died from the tsunami and the earthquake, which was the biggest earthquake Japan ever had. Really, we show the earthquake, we show the tsunami. The wave was 100 feet tall. There was a badly built wall. The wall was not a seawall that could hold, and the generators were flooded beneath the water. And
these were also not state of the art.
That's right.
It's like what they can do now in terms of these power plants
No, everything gets better. I mean,
Yeah.
But even those nuclear reactors built 60, 70 years ago are still functioning. They're legacy reactors. They do work.
Yeah.
And we mustn't dismiss them. Yeah, it gets better. Technology gets better. Like as in any business, and there's another generation, and it's better, hopefully better. But
The point was that they could avoid what happened in Fukushima today.
Fukushima was, if you look at closely, Japan had built 20-some reactors at that point, and this one is the only one. The others were exposed to the same earthquake and the same kind of tsunami. Several of them were on that same